Okay, welcome to Sewing 101. The first thing you want to do is when you buy your sewing machine, take it out of the box, read the instructions. It's going to tell you how to thread it. I work on industrial sewing machines. Mine is totally different than what you're going to be working on. You need to learn how to thread that sewing machine and how to put the bobbin in. So what you're going to do before you even start sewing, you're going to take and do no thread whatsoever in the sewing machine. And this is going to teach you how to control the sewing machine. Now, I'm going to operate it by lifting up the foot. I have a knee press that does it, but I'm going to show you because you have to lift up the foot. So I'm going to show you when you lift up the foot. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to unthread my sewing machine. I don't know where to put the thread because I don't want to unthread the whole thing. Guess I could put it here. Okay, I'm going to put it there. I'm going to take the bobbin out. And I'm going to sew without thread. I'm going to put a different foot on. And what you're going to do is you're going to start on the edge of the paper. And you're going to go around. And you're going to use the width of this foot. Oh, something's blooming or something. It's driving me crazy. Sorry about that. You're going to put this foot on the edge of the paper and you're going to sew around. Then you're going to stop the width of the foot away from the edge of the paper. You're going to turn it and you're going to sew. So I'm going to show you how to do that. And what that's going to do is going to teach you how to control your sewing machine. You think you got it and then you don't. Tighten that down. That's a zipper foot. I was putting zippers and stuff. But anyway, so what you're going to do is you're going to start like this. We're going to turn the sewing machine on. Paper doesn't want to sit under the sewing machine at all. So you're going to try to get it as close to the edge as possible to the width of the foot. And then you're going to lift up the back of your foot and you're going to turn it. And I got it pretty close. Come to the edge again and turn it. Come to the edge again, turn it. Now, when we get to this part, we're going to use the needle marks to guide the foot. And we're going to keep going around and around until we get to the center of the paper. I was the fastest on record in my sewing class. I do this faster than anybody. I haven't done this in years. But what this does is this teaches you how to get control over the sewing machine. So anyway, so now you get the idea. So once you do that, and you go all the way to the center, now you should be able to operate that sewing machine. Now the next thing you're going to do is I'm going to pause it because I'm going to do a square of fabric and I'm going to sew it on the fabric. And that's going to teach you how to thread the machine and run it with thread. So we're going to do that next. But you want to continue going around that sheet of paper until you get to the center. Then you're going to be very well versed in how that sewing machine works for you. So let's take a minute and let me get some fabric. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how to thread the needle. What you want to do is you want to grab a hold of the needle, keep your foot off your little pedal that makes the sewing machine go. You want to lick the thread. That gets it nice and taut. You should be able to get it right in the hole. I'm pretty good, but it still takes me a little bit. Just barely missed it. Got it. Okay, so now I'm going to put my bobbin in. When I put my bobbins in, if your sewing machine has a bobbin case, you're going to put the bobbin in there, and you're going to get the thread in the little notch and bring it in the loop. And then you go under the sewing machine. Now on yours, you might have to open up the plate, and I'll show you what my hands are doing. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. I'm hoping you will. Bobbin case is right there, and I just wait for it to snap. Once it snaps, I know it's in. Now yours is going to be different because home sewing machines are different than industrial. Once I get the bobbin in there, then I'm going to put the needle down and pick up the thread. Okay, you're going to do the same thing. And then bring that out. Now it's ready to sew. So now what we're going to do is we're going to sew this time. Hopefully I don't run out of bobbin. I probably will, but I'm not going to do the whole thing, but you are. We'll do the same thing we did on the paper. Right before the end, just the width of the foot. Oh, my thread broke. So now the thread broke. Let's go around and make sure it's all threaded in its little hookies. We're going to do it again. If there's a hair on the end of the thread, it won't go in the needle. So clip that little booger off. If you need to, they have needle threaders out. You could use one of them. We're not going to be real fussy with this. But what it does is that'll get you practice on learning how to thread the needle. When you run out of bobbin, you'll be able to fill a bobbin. And you'll be able to be not aggravated when you use the sewing machine, because you're going to get aggravated on nothing. So if you have it get aggravated, it's going to be on this scrap of material. Okay, I don't want to make this video too long. So I'm going to leave you there, and you just keep going around your little square until you get to the center. And then we could do another thing. So I'm going to show you how to bar tack. On my sewing machine, I can pick the foot up. On yours, you're going to do this. So when you first start, you'll put the needle down, and then you'll pick the foot up a little bit, and you go back and forth. And see, that makes a knot there so that the stitch won't come out. So then you can go to the end. Now I'll show you how I do it. I just have to hold it. And I gave it a bar tack, see? So you can practice that when you're doing the turns also. And a lot of home sewers have a button that'll go in reverse. So you can just press that a couple times. Mine doesn't have that, so I have to manually do it. But hope you get the gist of it. And this is going to get you comfortable with that sewing machine. Because before you start sewing anything, and I know you're excited and you want to get sewing, you have to learn to operate that sewing machine. So this will give you a good way to learn how to use it, to thread it, how to make bobbins. Your sewing machine is going to tell you on the home sewing machines, the bobbin winder's up here, and you just use the thread right from the needle. You wrap it around, you snap it in, and when it snaps in, sometimes you have to turn a wheel or you have to push a button so that the needle doesn't go up and down. But your sewing machine is going to tell you how to do that. So read your instructions, and in the comments, tell me how you guys are doing. And I will do another video, because I want to show you another beginner one, how to look at pattern pieces and know what the pattern piece is. That way when you're cutting it out on your fabric, you know that that's a sleeve, you know that that's a front or whatever, and you can recognize it without looking at the pattern instructions. I know what every pattern piece looks like now, and I could put anything together without instructions. But anyway, have a good day, and tell me in the comments if this helped. Thanks, everybody. Have a good one. Bye.